In our last video, we set up some tracking for AI overviews in order to see where do we stand when it comes to these new types of search visibility. In this video, we're going to be looking at competitor analysis within AI overviews in order to help us build a strategy to improve our own visibility and possibly rank for the first time in these highly coveted positions. All right, so before we try to even build a strategy or develop content, we need to understand who our competitors are and what type of content is being cited most within these AI overviews. So in the previous video, we looked at keyword.com, we looked at SE ranking in order to do some AI overview tracking. And now we're going to use the data after we've had them running for a little bit in order to help us build a strategy. And then from here, we'll actually work on creating content around that strategy in order to help improve our visibility. So right now I'm inside of keyword.com. I'm in the AI visibility tab, and I'm actually at the citations report. So I've set up a number of different queries under a couple of different topics, and I want to look at who is ranking and what type of content is ranking. One of the things you'll notice here is youtube.com having a massive amount of citations across the board. They've got 30. That's almost double all of the other sources that we're seeing. You're seeing some different brands here, social sites, SEOs, things like that. You can see the weekly mentions. For most of these, you do see a rise in weekly mentions. One of the highest risers here, at least in the top 20 domains for me, is let me just get a little more visibility. Is Reddit, which is everybody's favorite friend. They love trying to outrank Reddit in the world of SEO. We can also look at the content, the distribution, so blog content, news content, media content. Is it community-based content, product? So blog content is showing up here, which means, for all those content marketers out there, it's still important to have content. You just need to have content that is, developed the right way, that's going to answer the right types of questions. We can also see, the brand share. Google has a lot of mentions and a lot of brand share. SEMrush is doing pretty good as well. Ahrefs has got some good visibility as well. We've got some social channels here too. So this gives me an idea of who's ranking and what type of media is ranking, content is ranking, and kind of an idea of some of the brands that I'm going to be up against. Now, when I created my setup in the last video, it was just a very kind of open box video, but I went back in and I actually broke out all of my topics in here, and then I put terms under each of those topics. And I know that there are certain terms that we're trying to grow in and grow our visibility in, and it would be great to get mentioned within AI overviews for. So let's look now at specific terms and break down a little bit further who we possibly might need to rank against. So let's look at the AI search and emerging trends folder. Here I've got this question: what is generative engine optimization? And right now I'm tracking it on Google AI Overview, and I'm also tracking it within ChatGPT on this tool as well. And the reason I chose that is I use SparkToro. Really quick, if you haven't used SparkToro before, and I did some audience research. What is the channels that are being used by people who visit my site most frequently? So this shows you the social channels based off of US average, and this is search and AI tools against US average. You can see that the outlier here is ChatGPT, so I was interested in tracking that specifically. People also use other sites and in either other models or AI search tools like Claude, but predominantly we wanted to track using keyword.com ChatGPT specifically. So let's say we wanted to look at what is generative engine optimization, and I want to do some research and look at these search details. Who's ranking? I've had 2 runs for this. I am not currently being cited in AI overview for this. You can see here a little bit of a drop even for Google. Google went down slightly. Some new people were added to this as well. You can see they grew 50%, dropped 50%. Surfer grew, ChatGPT dropped. Some other brands here as well. This gives me some idea of who's ranking, what position they're ranking, between the runs, how often, how many times were they shown. And so this site only once, and Google only once. So now they've got 0 citations. So we can see there's a little bit of fluctuation in this term. Google's trying to understand how users are searching for this term, and we can see there's a little bit of back and forth. So I've got some links here too. This is all really good research that I can use and I can put back into some of my other tools to understand maybe where the gaps that I'm having against my competitors. So some of the larger brands from the first one that we're pulling were Google and ChatGPT, and we've seen a massive uptick in the number of brands ranking just in 1 week. So that's a pretty major shift right there. So I've got some good competitive data from here, but I want to get some more. I want to expand my reach a little bit further, and that's what we can use SE ranking for. So here we are in SE ranking. Here's the overall presence of queries with AIOs in them. Here's the number of mentions that I have. Have a mention here, and this mention is actually pulling from a YouTube video. So as we saw over in the other tool, keyword.com, that YouTube is cited a lot. That's where I'm seeing most of my tools, or most of my visibility coming from at the moment, is from the YouTube channel. But let's say I want to do more on the content side, and let's go ahead and look at that same question here. What is... All right. So here we can do a few different things. We can view the SERP just like we did. And we can see that the organic overlap has also changed. 2 more of the links or the citations that were in organic are now also showing within the AI overviews. So I go back here, and here's the query. What is generative engine optimization? What I like about this is I can look at the change day by day, and you can see large language models, ChatGPT and Google, and then here's the AI source links, and they have a little bit of a different results than we're seeing in keyword.com. But let's go ahead and look at the answer text. This is kind of the snippet that you're going to see before anything breaks down. These are all the AI source links that they're showing. And this is going to give me some just basic keyword. What's the trust of their domain? How many referring domains? Who's citing them and talking about them? How many keywords are they ranking for as well? Now, this is yesterday, right? So theirs is going to update. I'm going to get that in a little bit, while the ranking from keyword.com is for today. So we're already seeing shifts from yesterday to today. So Walker Sands over here on keyword.com is number 1. He was number 4 yesterday in the overview for this specific query. But I've got a list of terms. I can go and do a lot with this now. I can go run all this manually, or I can get some different insights using some other tools. I would review it manually first. I would look at these URLs, see who they are. Are these people that I think I compete against? Are they in my space? Does this even seem relevant? Since I'm in SEO, this is obviously very relevant. All of these sites in here are extremely relevant to me. So some things I want to figure out now, right? What makes their content so unique? How is their content being cited and pooled as far as like a retrieval system goes? And why is theirs being retrieved more quickly than mine? Because I know that I have content on this. I know I have a video on this. So let's try to figure out a little bit of what's happening from a competitive landscape so I can start to put a plan together in order to optimize. Now, there's a couple things we can do. We're going to do a nerdy thing, and then we're going to do something that's a little bit easier, maybe more digestible. So we can do vector-based analysis. In order to do this, I believe this is a private Hugging Space app. But if you're interested in it, just comment down below, and I'll see about making one that everybody can use, and maybe we can do it with a different API instead of OpenAI. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this LLM, and this is what we're going to do. We are going to crawl the websites, and we're going to pool their content. Then we're going to split the content into chunks, and then we are going to look at content structure and headings in order to make sure that we have cohesive, semantically related chunks. And then we are going to do some vectorization to understand the content, how close it is to the target keyword. We're going to put our URL in there, and I'm going to do some analysis between our content and our competitors, right? So what is our keyword? We can go right back here. We can just copy this keyword from here, and I'll put it right here. Now I know that I've got this page somewhere. I'll force it. There it is. This is in our glossary. And I'll go ahead and put this URL in there as well. And now I want to pull some competitors, right? So I've got these sites and these references here. So I can start to pull this content and the competitors here. And I'm only going to do about 5. And again, when you're doing this type of analysis and you're looking at people's pages and content, and you're crawling that content, make sure that you're being nice and you're not doing this over and over and over again, so they have all this really weird bad data in their back end, or just overhitting them. I mean, let's all be nice out here. We're trying to optimize together. So these are the top 3: Intro Digital, Walker Sands, Manhattan Strategies that are showing up here as of today from keyword.com. I can even go over here and let's pull a couple from these sources here. So we'll go open this link. I'll just copy the URL from Search Engine Land, and let's do one more. And we'll do AIO SEO. All right, as long as everybody lets me crawl and analyze their content, we should be able to run this. If not, we might have to remove some of the URLs because not everybody is going to let Python scripts go and crawl their website and pull some content. But it looks like we're able to get the content. It's calculating the semantic similarity score. So we're using a vector-based analysis. If you want to learn more about that, I actually have a free training in the SE Ranking Academy in their AIO training, and you can learn a little bit more about vector embeddings and vector analysis. All right, so I had a connection timeout, which means somebody blocked me. All right, so let's go ahead. It might be Search Engine Land, so we're going to go ahead and remove them. All right, once we reset the competitors, we go ahead and hit Run Analysis again. All right, so it takes a few minutes to run, but this is going to give us an LLM-based analysis. That's what this report is, but it's also going to give us the vector data, the page summary scores, topic analysis as well. So it's going to start with just a high-level analysis and tell me why this page is ranking well. It's ranking because it has the maximum similarity score, 8.491. So that's from a range of 0 to 1, which means that this page really defines it well, and it emphasizes those important things that need to be added to the page. This is some of the sections of content that perform well, which is kind of the definitions, as you'll notice this. Each one of those has very good, clear definitions. While my page has a good definition and it is relevant and it definitely talks about relevant topics, it's missing some of the things that the competitors have, like the comprehensive details on the practical applications. I don't have any case studies or any strategies around it. And this is just kind of telling me maybe some visual content might help as well. I've got a video on there, but maybe I need to add images and optimize those images as well. And then it's going to spit out some action items for me. Now, again, with any types of tools, we have to use our brain. These tools should not be doing the job for us. This is just giving us some recommendations based on semantic relationship scores. So like the practical application, it ensures that your brand's message accurately represented and effectively, right? That's practical. Real world strategies, again, user intent. How can we do this practically? Visual aids, optimizing scores. Consider adding visual process of this. Trends and the future. Here's how it's shaping the future and trends. So it's already giving me some analysis, but how did it get here? How did the LLM know to do this? Well, it does it through vector-based analysis. So it's going to look at each piece of content in the URL. It's going to look at the type of content. In this case, it's our competitors versus our clients or my page. It's going to show me how many chunks. So how many different chunks did this content have? And then what was the average similarity score of each of the chunks? And then which page had the max similarity score? So I actually am doing better than Manhattan Strategies, but my max scores are slightly below these other threes. And my average score is below these other threes as well. It's a little bit better than AI SEO, but they did a better job of explaining all the different sections. So then I can look at the top content. So this is going to go down. This is looking at the whole page, and this is looking at a passage level. What are the sections that scored really, really well? So I've got this section which scored real, but as you can see, my question and answering isn't as good as the other guys. And I can go through all of this data here and look at that and start to analyze my content and say, okay, if I've already got this page and I'm pretty close in some areas, what optimizations, what changes do I need to make? How can I better position, structure this page in order to get better scores so I get higher relevance scores? Now, this is not a magical score that if I have a higher relevance score, I'm automatically going to rank for that. There's so many other things at play, but this is going to get me started because this is what the LLM's looking for, retrieving these things. When somebody asks, what is generative engine optimization? Boom, generative engine optimization, GEO, is, and it defines it, right? Here's mine. Generative engine optimization is crucial, but I don't actually define it. I just talk about it being important here. So while it scored pretty high on some aspects, it didn't score high on the most important thing that's being asked within this question. I also will get all the vector data here, which I can do some more analysis with as well. So this is one way to do it. If you know how to do Python, Hugging Face spaces is pretty cool. And then you plug it into Gradio and you get to build these cool apps that you can do on your own and create generative reports. The reason I like Gradio, this is just a side note, more than Streamlit for this type of process, is Gradio is built for LLMs and generative AI applications. So it tends to perform very, very well. If you want access to something like this, comment below. Maybe we can work something out and I can share some of this with you. But let's say you're not that technical and you still want to optimize with this. Can you do it? Yes, you can. All right, so this is Notebook LM. And Notebook LM is a tool that allows you to create AI-driven notebooks, but it also allows you to test like RAG capabilities within a very easy environment. So I can go ahead and add some links here, right? So let's go ahead and add all the links that we were looking at over here, including mine. What Notebook LM will do is it will crawl the content, it will index the content, it will analyze the content, and it will vectorize the content using Google. This is going to be using Gemini. And even if you're not in a pro setting, you can still use it here. Now, it's going to give me an analysis of all the content, and it's going to kind of show me an overview of the content here. And you can do a couple cool things with this. But I want to test here how well my content is retrieved and cited against the competition. Okay, so I've got all the competitors' content in here as well as my content. And I want to see what is the citation rate between my content and theirs. So I'm going to ask the exact same question using the exact same query, just in a different setting. And I'm going to go ahead and add it. It's going to give me a definition. Let's see who's getting cited. Number 1, being cited, The Beginner's Guide to Generative Engine Optimization, WordPress tutorials, right? Number 2, AIO SEO. Number 3, that's my site. Number 4, we've got Intro Digital. Number 5, we've got Manhattan. So it's almost in the same order, almost in the exact same order as we saw over here in the page scores as far as average similarity, right? It's almost the same order. But we're seeing that that Walker Sands is being cited number 1. Over here, we've got Intro Digital, and we've got Manhattan being cited here again. And you can look through each of these understandings and see all the content that's being pulled out. So as you can see, there's a lot of different citations pulling up. I am being shown at times, but it's not standing out the same way, right? So if my source right here is number 3, which I can see that it is just by the way this is coming in here, I'll notice that I'm not being mentioned right here. I'm not being mentioned right here. I'm not being mentioned in optimization for AI systems. I'm not being mentioned in contextual understanding. I'm not being mentioned in brand representation and citation, training the models, elements here. I'm not showing up in all these different places that I probably wish that I was. And so there's obviously some gaps. What's cool with something like Notebook LM is it can also help you kind of start to build out a strategy. I already know who I'm competing against. I know that I have some gaps. I know that I've got to clean up the way I'm defining it, but I also realize that I'm missing some key aspects. And I can actually now use a tool like Notebook LM to help me build a strategy that I can go back in and start to take the content I have, begin to update that content based on this data, and create better content, push it back to indexing, and track the results, see how it's improved my overall visibility within this area. Again, this is a new area. We don't always know how these things are going to change, what's going to happen, but this is going to give us an idea of how to get in, or at least hopefully move forward. So I've already generated that mind map, and now I'll know, all right, this may be a great way to structure my content based on the way Notebook LM has seen it. I need to start with the definition, and here's some ideas with that. I need to talk about the importance. I need to talk about how they work. I need to talk about the difference between GEO and core principles, successful strategies, practical implementations, measuring success, and future trends. I've got a roadmap now because I did my research with my competitors. I can go and compare this to the content that I have, make the necessary edits, publish that new content, and track its implementation. So in our next video, we're going to talk about actually making these changes and how do we publish these changes? How do we optimize our pages? How do we add the structured data? All the things that we need to do to make sure that we hopefully can start to be triggered when somebody asks, what is generative engine optimization, GEO, within Google, as well as ChatGPT. Well, there you go. We've got our competitive research done, and now it's time to start building a strategy. So stay tuned, and we're going to be creating our next video on how to put that strategy together and begin to actually take all the data that we have and make it work for us. I hope you found something new in this video today. If you have any questions or you want to see more on this topic, please comment below. We'd love to continue that conversation with you. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and until next time, happy marketing.